New World Order for Dummies, The Perception Deception. Now, not only is that an amazingly informative book from David Icke, it's a term we can use to show people how they've been hoodwinked. In these videos, I've been trying to explain to people that for the past 100 years, I mean, a long time before that, but for the last 100 years, we've been, the planet has been heading to a conclusion, and it's been manipulated and directed by a handful of families. Now, Ike goes into the fact that these families are of hybrid DNA, and I don't want to go too far into that today because, again, the majority of people are still asleep. They're not going to believe that our world has been, manipulated by aliens, essentially. Although, for people that are awake and understand that, the one thing I will mention about that is because these entities aren't like me and you, they don't have common human traits like empathy, like compassion. Therefore, death and destruction is their currency. It's what they need to be energized, and it's what they actually trade as currency, essentially. It's a low frequency state of being. And so when you try and tell people about things like 9/11, they gauge the fact that, the powers that be couldn't have had anything to do with it because, they're like me and you. They how could they kill innocent people? How could they, perform genocide around the world? They're not like you and me, and that's the whole point of it. We'll come back to it because I say it's a whole topic on its own, but just so you understand, that is the difference. That's why they do create chaos, because that's how they survive. So anyway, how do you form your opinions? You form your opinions on your perceptions. You believe what you perceive. But where do you get your perceptions from? You get your perceptions from information received. So if you're getting information from a source that is less than credible, then that's what's going to form your perceptions, and you're going to essentially trust a paradigm. Now, let's break it down further. From when you're born, your parents bring you into this world. They give you your first experiences. They give you your first information, essentially. Now, if they've been through the system of birth, school, work, then mainstream everything, they may not be the best qualified to give you this crucial information. Do you know what I mean? Then they put you in school, they put you in primary school, and what do we learn there? We learn that authority is always right. If we question it, then we can be in trouble. We're then fed with a curriculum that's been designed by the agenda. We move on then to high school or secondary school in England. Again, the onus is on authority, always being correct, and if you question it, then you will be penalised. If you go along with it, you're rewarded. Then the discipline is a bit tougher. You have to be there on time, you have to get permission to use the bathroom, you have to wait till the bell goes till you can go home. And don't get me wrong, I believe in education and schooling if it's done right. But over here, and probably in England now, the curriculum is designed by the Rockefellers, and they are one of the heads of the New World Order. So the information that they're presenting to you which is a watered down version of information that's out there, and is such that it suits their agenda, which is essentially to dumb you down, to keep you ignorant, to keep you uninformed. They're not going to show you how to, balance a checkbook. They're not going to show you how the banking system works. They're not going to show you, home economics or economics in general. They don't want you to learn anything that can make you self-sufficient. They need you to be dependent on the government. That way, they can keep you as working drones for the rest of your life. And then it's on to higher education. And this is where they get you to pay for your own programming. And what I mean by that is, whatever subject you choose, whether it be law, whether it be law enforcement, whether it be media, medicine, journalism, any career that you choose, they are all at the highest echelon controlled by the same forces. So the information that they will present to you there, again, is a narrow bandwidth of information that's out there. I mean, take medicine. I mean, it's been proven that alternative therapies can be far more beneficial than pharmaceuticals. But because the Rockefellers, again, run the pharmaceutical companies, they won't allow anything outside of their dogma to exist. This holistic doctors that's been taken out just because they provide this alternative, and it's a threat to the agenda. So by now, you've been receiving all this information that you consider gospel, when in fact it's just been skewed in the favour of the agenda. So if you're watching TV of the evening or you're going to movies, I mean, you must understand that the cabal own all mainstream media. So whether it's printed outlets, New York Times, Washington Post, or whether it's the the cable or terrestrial TV, the news networks, whatever it may be, they own it, and therefore they'll only allow a certain amount of information to be broadcast. And the majority of the time it's fear-mongering, whether it be terrorism, poverty, obesity, homelessness, the threat from this country there, the threat from this here. It's all designed to instill fear and influence your thoughts. Not just the news networks, but film and TV. People think that the Hunger Games and World War Z and Black Mirror are fiction, but it's not. It's preparing you, it's pre-programming you to be accepting of this potential future. Some people look at it and go, wow, that's entertaining, whilst on a subconscious level it is preconditioning you to accept it, so when it does come about, it's not going to be a shock. I mean, it's genius. That's how susceptible the brain is when it's faced with these frequencies coming through the TV or the movie screen. It's all designed to to manipulate your thoughts, to influence you. It's on a particular frequency, and the powers that be understand this. That is how they can push your buttons in a certain way, whether it be consciously or subconsciously. Your TV is brainwashing you. And if you didn't realise that, you might want to reevaluate what intelligence or smart means to you, because again, you've just been through however many years of education, and if you don't see that, then the brainwashing's worked. You see what I mean? Or maybe you don't because you're brainwashed, but that's what I'm getting at. We perceive what we believe, and if we've been receiving this information for so long, then that is the paradigm right there. If someone comes along like me and says, look, there is another way of thinking about this, that side of your brain shuts down because you've invested so much time and money and energy into believing the system. And so I get it, it's a difficult thing to break out of, but I just wanted to present it to you in an alternative viewpoint. Do you know what I mean? We're nothing without information, but you've got to look at the sources of information. Even what I'm telling you, don't go and just believe it. Just evaluate it against what you consider to be truthful, and see if there are any holes on either side of the argument. I mean, it's as simple as that. I don't know why some people are so reluctant to even hear an alternative viewpoint, when all that can mean is you've got more information to choose from. You've got more information to base an opinion on. So again, intelligence doesn't just mean, you did X amount of years of schooling, you've got a piece of paper to say you're smart. You've really got to think for yourself. As the days and weeks and years go by, we are nearing the end of this conclusion. the one world government, the New World Order. You're going to need as much information as possible to benefit you and yours. I don't know what it's going to take for some people to wake up. There's going to be another false flag, which usually means more restrictions on us. There'll be more taxes, more penalties, more restrictions in the name of security. So watch out for that. And yeah, I don't know what else to tell you.